Near my house is a small creek. Nothing grandiose, just a simple creek. One that I never imagined would sustain fish. But interestingly enough, I ate my words when one of my sons took a fishing pole down to the creek one day. Well, I said, I had no idea. As he reeled in a tiny chub fish, I stand corrected. He and a neighborhood friend had been out there for a while, and even though my son had caught one, his friend just kept catching them one after the other. Every time he dropped the line into the water, it was as if he was like this fish whisperer or something. After some time, let's be honest, lots of time, my son grew impatient in his lack of fish whispering ability. Come on, he would say. Why won't they bite? I've tried different bait. I've tried different hooks, different spots. You name it. Nothing, as he begins to get slightly angry. But not even a nibble. It didn't make a difference. Full transparency, I am no fisherman. Nothing opposed to it. I've done some deep sea fishing a few times, and it was incredible. But I've never been one to have the capacity to simply sit and wait and wait and wait some more, never knowing if the time was well spent or not. And yes, I understand how that doesn't really fit the narrative of this podcast. If there's anything I should be great at doing, it's sitting mindfully, embracing the absence, which I'm actually really good at doing, just not when it comes to fishing. But seeing my son become more and more frustrated, it brought something to mind. Unrequited love. A listener wrote in, thank you, asking if I would do an episode on this. Rejected love. Not fishing, rejected love. But honestly, the similarity is rather profound. Chad, what does fishing have to do with someone not loving you in return? Well, let's take a look. I'm Chad Lawson, and let's calm it down in 3, 2, 1. Is there anything worse than getting your heart broken? Be it someone not committing, or even showing a hint of a response, or at least the response that we were hoping for, or waiting for something to happen, to only come to realize, well, they were empty wishes. This is something that everyone in the world can relate to, no matter where you're from or what you do for a living, no matter how much money you make or what kind of people that you are attracted to. We've all had our heart broken at some point or another. Of course, the big heartbreaks, they hurt like crazy and can even be traumatizing. Getting divorced, becoming widowed, being cheated on, so on, so on. If that's what you're going through right now, I want you to know that my heart mourns for you. That is a really tough situation, and I'm so sorry that you're going through this. But I want to talk about a different kind of heartbreak. This one's a little different. The kind that happens when you don't even get a chance to fall in love in the first place. You're crazy about this person, but they just don't love you back. Now what? There you are, left holding the pieces of your broken heart. How are you supposed to feel, and what do you do now? Most of us have been there. I certainly have, and I know how it feels in the moments like you can't get over this. I promise you, though, that you will. But I want to talk about how to do this with grace and self-compassion. Okay? So, let's begin. If you've recently been rejected by someone that you were interested in, I feel your pain. From the early days of the, hey, do you like me? Check, yes, no, maybe, to the getting dumped your first semester of college during Thanksgiving break. Little changes when it comes to putting your heart in someone else's hands. I get it. You might start thinking things like, why am I not good enough? Why am I not attractive enough? But I think these types of rejections are hard because it's the kind of hurt that can't be masked by any other emotion. Anger would be easier. It's always easier to feel angry than heartbroken. I mean, with anger, at least there's this action that makes you feel like you're doing something. I'm so mad I could punch something or I could break something. But heartache, what do you do with heartache? And even if anger were a substitute, which it's not, who would you direct that anger to in a situation like this? I mean, maybe you could summon up some anger for the person who rejected you. That stupid person. Can't they see how great I am? Or other people start to get angry with themselves. I'm so stupid. Why do I always wear my heart on my sleeve like that? I'm done with love. We've all said that before. But let me say this, and I don't usually like to give you guys too much unsolicited advice, but I do have to say this. Anger isn't the answer. It's not the answer when it comes to rejection. I'm going to say that again. Anger isn't the answer when it comes to rejection. It's pointless, and it's even inappropriate. The sad truth is we can't force anyone to love us. But that doesn't mean that anyone who doesn't like you back is a terrible person. And it also doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be loved. You absolutely, without question, deserve to be loved. You just happen to put your heart on the line, and the other person couldn't accept it. It just didn't work out. Whatever the reason may be, and that is beyond painful. But it also can't be changed. But that's okay. This is tough, I know. Sometimes those words, it didn't work out. As hard as they are to swallow, sometimes it's just true. I think that sometimes the best way to approach a painful situation that can't be changed is through what's called radical acceptance. So I don't know if you have heard of this, and I've only recently stumbled upon it. Basically, radical acceptance is learning how to accept the reality of how things are right now. It means that you accept these things and try to deal with them in a positive way. When you fully accept them as they are, it can be the first step in moving through a difficult experience and finding more meaning. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're over it. It doesn't mean that you aren't hurt and that you are totally okay. It just means that you recognize that you can either fight the unchangeable something until you have exhausted yourself, or you can try to make peace with it. Think about a rainy day when you were planning to have a picnic. I mean, let's be honest, it definitely would be disappointing. You were expecting a nice sunny day for a picnic, and now the grass is all muddy. You can't sit down and you're cold. So you can either resist the idea that it's raining, or you can make peace with it. Radical acceptance is the difference between the I hate the rain, what the heck, why does it have to rain on that one day I wanted to have a picnic, this is so stupid, and, well, it's raining, and I clearly can't have a picnic. I guess I better find something else to do. You know what those two situations have in common? In both, it's raining on the day of the picnic. It doesn't change, but I bet if you had that second reaction, you could salvage the day somehow, or at least you'd feel a little less awful. That's what radical acceptance is. Let's just be honest, some things just suck and can't be changed. Romantic rejection, in a lot of ways, is one of those things. It's like we said before, you can't force someone to love you. Is it sad and disappointing? Yes. Have we all been there before? Yes. You are definitely not alone. You can wish that that person would just give you a chance, or you can wish that you could just forget about that person and move on, like now, like yesterday. But those things aren't possible, at least not right now. And maybe all there is to do is to sit in the pain and discomfort of that and try to be a little bit more kind to yourself. What you're going through is real. What your emotions are telling you, what you're feeling right now, it is real. And don't rush that. But try to be a little kind to yourself. So, together, I want to practice some radical acceptance toward the last time you felt rejected by someone that you were interested in. Okay? Just a few. Deep breath in. All right, let it all go. Exhale. Now, what I would love for you to do is simply just repeat these affirmations silently after me. Full transparency. Some of these are hard. I'm going to be honest. But it's okay. I've got your hand and we can do this. Okay? First one is, I accept the reality that this person doesn't want to be with me. This is not what I wanted. Rejection makes me feel hurt and unlovable. I can feel these emotions in my body, and I allow them to be there without judgment. This is not what I wanted, but this is just the truth. This is no one's fault. This is no one's fault. It would be easier if I could be angry at somebody, but no one is to blame. It just didn't work out. Some things just don't work out. I don't like this situation, but I can accept it. And I know that I have the ability to survive situations that I don't like. And finally, above all, I know that I am lovable. Oh, I love that one. Do it again. I know that I am lovable. I am worthy of love, and I am loved by many other people in my life. This rejection doesn't change any of that. I know that I am lovable. Take the time to write these down. Keep them on your nightstand or save them to your phone. When you see that person or when you think of them, pull these up and read through them. Maybe memorize one that's your favorite and really speaks to you. You know, my son, he still fishes, like almost every time the sun is out. The fun thing is, it's spread to the other kids in the neighborhood. Any given afternoon after school, I can look out from my office and literally see 5 or 6 boys down at the creek, waiting, hoping. Not every kid catches a fish every day, but when they do, there's so much more excitement. That feeling that something came along and brought a window of joy. It happens. It does. And it usually will. And when there isn't a single fish to catch, they still go. They still go down there every day. Not knowing what's in store, but knowing that when the time is right and everything is where it should be, it'll be their turn. I'm sorry this relationship didn't work out for you. But don't forget that you are amazing and you are lovable and you are loved by so many other people. To find more episodes of Calm It Down, hear the musical playlist from today's episode, or simply wanting to know where to send chocolate chip cookies, visit calmitdownpodcast.com. You'll even find additional resources for emotional support, including our online community and our Facebook page. You're not alone. You are not alone. This podcast was written and produced by yours truly, Chad Lawson, composer, pianist, and nationally recognized Sweet Tooth. And now something my attorney wants me to say. The views, expressions, and techniques in this episode are of my personal opinion and is not intended to, nor should they serve as a substitute for medical advice or diagnosis rendered to you by your individual doctor or other healthcare provider. Only a licensed physician should evaluate your situation, provide a diagnosis, or render other medical advice to you, and you should only act upon the advice of such physician. Now, what I like to say. I am an extreme empath by nature, but my profession is that of a composer and pianist, not a licensed therapist or physician. I hear from thousands of listeners how my music has helped them through various stages of emotional needs, and I simply want to offer this and future podcasts in aiding those needs. To find a list of licensed professionals in your area, please visit calmitdownpodcast.com. And finally, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review. While it takes less than 60 seconds to do, its impact will last for years to come, as every little bit helps in growing the awareness and the importance of emotional health. I'm Chad Lawson, and until next time, be kind to your mind, and join me next week as we calm it down.